Okay. The extra was 2a to negative 1 plus 2a to negative 1 over
Like something ain't right.
Why that face?
She was writing it, but it's she has to wait for time.
okay, over a to negative 1 plus 2a to negative 2. Only the quantity that has a negative power goes to the denominator. You cannot take something that has a positive power and all of a sudden move it to the denominator. So this is not 2 to negative 1. It's 2 to the first power. So this is this. Plus, this is a different story. This is indeed 1 over 2a. This is indeed 1 over a, and this is indeed 2 over a to the second power. Now I have to find the least common denominator at the top. Can anyone give us the least common denominator at the top and the least common denominator in the denominator? So for the numerator, the least common denominator would be indeed. Then I have an adjustment here to make for 2, and this is just 1, nothing needed. So then it's 4 plus 1. The least common denominator in the denominator. Very good. So then this one needs an a. So that's an a plus 2. Now the top is 5 over 2a, and the bottom is a plus 2 over a squared. Of course, I will write a not 0. And now I'm ready to do something with that fraction. It's a complex rational expression. So what do I change it into? What do I do? Copy the numerator, right? And copy the numerator, which is 5 over 2a, and multiply by a squared over a plus 2. This is a new denominator. I have to add another restriction. And the only thing I can simplify is take away an a from the denominator and an a from the numerator. There is nothing else. So the simplified form is this. I took away an a from the top, and I took away an a from the bottom. Any questions? I'm hoping you are going to fill out those stupid student opinion forms. I didn't mean to, those student, I meant to say, those student.
They both have ST.
Yeah, sorry. They are open only till Sunday. Beyond Sunday, you will not have access to them.
How do you want us to get to you the information?
Just take a screenshot and email it to me, or text it to me. It's up to you. Okay. Good.
Can we review like add square roots, find the perimeter?
Say it again.
Something like this.
Yeah. We can make one up. So let's say we have this figure. And this is the square root of 2, and this is the square root of 8. This is the square root of 12. This is 2, the square root of 3. This is 4 the square root of 27, and this is the square root of 3. So we want to find the perimeter of this figure. So the perimeter will be the square root of 2 plus, instead of 8, I write 2 the square root of 2. Instead of the square root of 12, I write 2 the square root of 3. And then plus 2 the square root of 3. And plus, this is 9 and 3. The square root of 9 is 3 times 4. 12 the square root of 3 plus the square root of 3. So I realized that these are like radicals, and these are like radicals. So therefore, the simplified form will be 3 the square root of 2. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, plus 12 is 17, plus 17 the square root of 3.
What you had?
Say it again.
Can you do that again? What'd you say?
1 apple plus 2 apples, 3. 2 plus 2 plus 1 is 5. 5 plus 12 is 17.
Okay. So
Is that better?
Tuesday. Okay.
There is nothing else I can do here. Anything else? I thought questions. You had questions. Of course. $50 on 295. 295. 290. 50 on 295. The rate of fatalities per 100 million vehicle miles has been decreasing for both automobiles and light trucks. For the years 2001 through 2009. Perfect. The function y equals negative 0.06x plus. Am I copying the correct problem? Can be used to estimate the rate of fatalities per 100 million vehicle miles for automobiles during this period, and the function y equals negative 0.08x plus 2.1 is for trucks. Same thing. Perfect. First question. If this trend continues, predict the year in which the fatality rate for autos equals the fatality rate for light trucks. Any suggestion on how to proceed?
You can just make that equal.
Of course. Yes, this is a system. So negative 0.06x plus 1.7 equals negative 0.08x plus 2.1. Very good. I'm going to move this to this side and this to this side. So I get 0.02x equals 2.1 minus 1.7 is 0.4. 21 minus 17 is 4. So therefore x equals 0.4 divided by 0.02, which is basically 40 divided by 2. So x equals 20. So what was x? X represents the number of years between 2001 to 2009. So x is the number of years. So we got 20 years beyond 2001. So in 2021, predict the year in which the fatality rate for autos equals the fatality rate for light trucks. I'm just making sure it says x is the number of years since 2000. In that case, This will be 2020. Part B. Use these equations to predict the fatality rate per million vehicle miles for autos and light trucks for the current year. The current year is 2017, so therefore x equals 17 years. And I have to determine y equals negative 0.06 times 17 plus 1.7, and y equals negative 0.08 times 17 plus 2.1. And I'll calculate that. If you want to calculate the first one, I'll calculate the second one. Negative 0.08 multiplied by 17 and plus 2.1. And this is 0.74. And now the measurement unit. One more time, the measurement unit is the fatality rate. I have to write the whole thing. This is the fatality rate per million vehicle miles. Vehicle miles for trucks. Yes, I'm sorry.
So for this question, can't you just multiply by, so you don't have to do the decimals, multiply by 10 initially? Or,
You mean the equation?
yeah.
But if I multiply by 10, then I have to divide by 10. I cannot just say, so when I solve an equation, it's a very good point. When I solve an equation, I will multiply both sides by whatever or divide both sides by whatever. But if I look in my pocket and I see I have $10, I'm going to say, let me multiply it by 10. And I look again, it's not going to be 100. So I can only multiply or divide both sides of an equation. Here I was just asked to evaluate. Okay? So I'm looking, I'm reading again. It says the rate of fatalities per 100 million. So this is for 100 million, which means that will be 74. Okay? So 74 fatalities for a million vehicle miles covered by trucks. Apparently, according to the model, if the model is still holds, 74 people die every time trucks, every million miles driven by trucks, 74 people die. From accidents, from getting off the road, and so on and so forth. Good. Other questions? Anything else? Anything else you'd like to review? Anything else?
Can you do one with the extra credit on test 3?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Yes. Find the function that represents the product of two numbers that differ by 8. So two numbers that differ by 8, and their product is this. I will solve this equation for y. So I get negative y equals negative x plus 8 and multiply by negative 1 to get this. And I will replace it in the product function because I want a function with only one variable. Since this function has a max or a min?
Oh, nice. I'm in.
Very good. I'm asked to determine its minimum now. How do I determine the minimum of this function?
You can factor it.
That's not how I find the minimum. Careful. How do I find the minimum? And what type of function is
Well,
it?
the vertex.
Very good, very good. Indeed, negative b over 2a, negative 8 over 2, which is 4. Bless you. Which means x equals 4. If x equals 4, can anyone give us y?
Oh,
4 minus 8 is negative 4. So then the product, which is minimum product, is negative 16. So I have to write this as the final answer. The minimum product of two numbers that differ by 8 is negative 16. The numbers are 4 and negative 4. From test 3.
you do question number 8 on the test.
Which one?
Test question number 8.
Number 8, I have it. I have a copy here. Number 8.
It's a FOG type of problem.
Good.
Two functions.
Yes, so we are decomposing. Chris, is this okay?
Yeah.
We are decomposing h of x, which is the square root of x plus 4, and plus 2. We want an inner function and we want an outer function. Can anyone give us an inner function? Very good. You said x plus 4? Perfect. I agree. That's one option. Good. And now can anyone give us the outer function?
Plus 2.
Square root of x plus 2.
Very good. Excellent.
That's what I got on the test. But it was wrong. I didn't.
Take your functions and find the f comma g and see if you get h. If you get h, then you get the points. Can you give me those two functions? What were they? So g was
Square root of x minus x plus 2, I'm sorry.
good.
And f of x is x plus
Plus 2,
plus 2.
x plus 4.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So we want to show that f comp g of x, bless you, turns out to be this, right? Okay, so let's do that. So this is f of g of x, which is f of the square root of x plus 2 equals. So now f says wherever you see x, replace it by this. So then I have the square root of x plus 2 plus 4. Is this function the same with this one? You should check. Good. Anything else?
Did you do 12 or 609?
12 on?
609.
Yes. 12 on 609. Let's take a look. 609. Where are you? 609. Got it. And 12. The fourth root of AB squared times the fourth root of 27AB. I'm allowed to multiply two radicals as long as they have the same index. So in this case, I will have the fourth root of 27a squared b to the third. And a radical is fully simplified if there are no negative exponents. All radicals are fully simplified. In other words, the power is less than the index, power less than the index, power less than the index. And 27 is 3 cubed. So 3 cubed, the fourth root of 3 cubed is still fully simplified. So there is nothing else I can perform here. This is it. Good? Next question, please. Anything else?
Can you do another complete square?
Yes, let's do another complete the square. And before that, let me look at my calendar. So our final exam is a week from today. Please do not miss the final. I will have to, I'm looking at my phone because I have my schedule in here. I made the call. I think it's on the 10th.
So do we have class Monday?
Our last day of classes is today. Next week is a final exam week and nothing else. So Wednesday, 2:45 to 4:45. Since there is no other class before hours, I'll be here from 2 o'clock. So it says in the schedule 2:45, but I'll be here from 2 o'clock. So you can be more than happy to start at 2. So today is the 3rd. So May the 10th, final from 2 p.m. Please do not miss the final because I will be forced to calculate your grade with a 0.
To what?
Say it again.
2 p.m. to what?
2 to 4 o'clock. I don't want to turn in the grades with 0 on the final exam. And what I do, and my colleagues say that I'm crazy, I will step outside and give you a call if you don't show up.
I do have a question. So don't you still replace our lowest class grades with something?
No, I replace the lowest test grade with the final exam grade if that helps your grade. Yes. Okay? So please do not miss your final. A week from today, starting from 2 p.m. in this room. Which formulas would you need?
Everything.
Okay, the midpoint, sum of x's divided by 2, which is the average, and sum of y's divided by 2. The distance formula, the square of x2 minus x1, everything squared, plus y2 minus y1, everything squared. Which one? Oh, that will be given to you. You don't have to memorize that.
We need to remember
Yes.
these though.
Yes, please. So this one, yes, will be given to you. You don't have to memorize this one, no.
What other should we?
You should know the quadratic formula, but you have to know it because your next steps in math are based on what you learned here. Okay? So it's negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Now y minus y1 equals the slope times x minus x1. You do know from a long time ago. Y equals mx plus b. You know from a long time ago. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Even if you want to forget those, you can't. What else do you think? The vertex formula. Negative b over 2a, f of negative b over 2a. I can't think of anything else. Yes.
Can you do problem number?
Yes.
Wait a second. Problem number D from exam number
D.
Yeah.
3D.
No, 1D.
1D from this test.
No, test.
1D. There is no 1D.
This right here.
1D. 1 has ABC.
This one has ABCD. For test 3.
Ah, for test 3. I'm sorry, I was looking at test 4. Forgive me. So x plus 3. x plus 8 equals x. Good. So can anyone tell us how to solve this equation? Or
So on the test, what I did was I subtracted.
yes, I agree. So x squared plus 8x plus 3x plus 24 minus x equals 0. So this is x squared. This is 11 minus 1 is plus 10x and plus 24. Right? So this is x plus 4 and x plus 6. So the solutions are -6 and -4.
So I was initially doing that, but I didn't trust it. That's why.
Okay, well, we all doubt ourselves at some point in time with different things, so.
Can you do one like this?
Yes,
1B.
you said 1b.
Yes.
So we have the absolute value of x minus 2 equals -2. No solutions.
So this is the easy.
A positive number cannot equal a negative number.
Yeah, that's the test. Test 1 is easy.
Because that's what I missed by the way.
Test 3 when I'm addition.
Can you do one where like you grab the two equations and then like one of the lines don't touch the zero and then you can't use zero as a test point? Where you have to shade.
Oh, so the, okay, so solving systems of nonlinear linear inequalities, yes. Okay, so let's say x minus 2y less than or equal to 0, and x plus y greater than or equal to 3. Is that what you had in mind? Perfect. Very good. So now I have to write the equation first. X minus 2y equals 0. It happens that when x is 0, y must be 0. So it passes through the origin. And then I'm going to make up a point. I'm going to say when x is 2. So I have 2 minus 2y equals 0. Negative 2y equals -2, which means y equals 1. So I determine 2 points, so I can graph this line.
Oh, I have a question.
Sure.
So I saw where you found the intercept at 0, 0. So where did you get the 2? Or is that part of the equation initially? The 2 minus 2y equals 0?
I have determined another point. Then I picked x equals 2 and I plugged it in to show how I get y. Yep. So 2 comma 1 and 0 comma 0. It has the equal symbol, so it will be a solid line. And I write x minus 2y equals 0. This is not the inequality. This is just the equation. And now since it passes through the origin, I'm going to choose this point as 10 comma 0. That's my choice. So 10 comma 0, I get that 10 is less than or equal to 0, which is a false statement. I cannot shade in this area that I checked for. I have to shade in the opposite. So this is x minus 2y less than or equal to 0. Now I repeat the same steps for x plus y equals 3. Any questions so far? Better? Okay, perfect. So now x plus y equals 3. When x is 0, y is 3, so 0, 3. When y is 0, x is 3, so 3, 0. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Solid line, yes. So this is x plus y equals 3. I will choose the origin to check this area. 0, 0, 0 greater than or equal to 3? No. So I have to shade in the opposite. and this will be x plus y greater than or equal to 3. So now I have to intersect the light blue with the dark blue, and they overlap here. At this corner, this line, and everything in between. So this is both at the same time.
So how do you do that answer on the
Say it again.
how do you do that answer for that just
Yes, there is no other way. Yeah. That's the only way.
Can you do this problem?
Yes, any problem. Yes, so we have x to the fourth minus 13x squared plus 36 equals 0. What is the degree of this polynomial and how many solutions will this equation have? How many? 4 solutions. Degree 4, 4 solutions. Very good. What do? I really don't know how to factor degree 4. I may or may not be able to figure it out, but I realize that this equation is quadratic in form, which means I can say let's say t be x squared. If this is t, what is this? Yes, indeed. So the equation becomes t squared minus 13t plus 36 equals 0. And I know how to factor because this is not difficult.
You got like this.
Yeah, you gotta sit down.
Yeah, I was confused. So.
So you just substitute the x
No, I substituted x squared by t. Yep. It's a substitution. We did this for, right?
I'm not sure. I'm confused. So, the t is representing x squared.
Correct.
And
So-
so t squared would be t squared would be 4.
Okay, that makes sense. So t squared plus t squared. No, t plus t is x to the fourth.
T plus t is not x to the fourth.
I don't know. I just go. I probably do it this way.
Because if it x to the 4th, then put it half. So x squared times x squared. So that's 2 that would be t squared. So the t
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, go ahead. Yeah.
Is that better? Are we all got caught up? Okay, so then I factor this in t as t minus 9 and t minus 4. So I have two options as 9 and 4. But this is a different equation, and this is a different equation. Can anyone dictate which equations I'm referring to? X squared equals 9, very good. And x squared equals 4. The easiest thing to do is take the square root from both sides, and if you forget plus or minus, you will not determine both solutions. So please be careful. Every time we take the square root from both sides, we have to write plus or minus.
It says present all solution in real and imaginary. But the next part says explain what happens with the discriminating positive and negative and 0 in relation to the graph that is on the function.
Good, very good. So we know that a discriminant can be greater than, can be strictly greater than 0, can be less than 0, it can be 0. So what do we know? What happens in this case? What happens in this case? And in the third one? What is the first case all about? Two real solutions. Very good. The quadratic function will cross the x-axis twice. Perfect. What about the second one? No solutions. I should say no real solutions, which means the quadratic function will not touch the x-axis. Very good. And what about the last one? One solution, one real solution. In other words, the vertex will also be the x-intercept. Very good. Well done.
And it's an extra credit that find the function that represents the product of two numbers. Oh no, it's a different function.
There's a time I say to need what? To
Real solutions. No real solutions. One real solution. Very good. Anything else? Next question. Yes. Yes. So there are two types of absolute value inequalities. One is like x plus 1 over 2 less than or equal to 3. And the other one, let's say 2x minus 1 over 4 in absolute value greater than or equal to 1. These are the major groups, major types. The first one is easy because I have to look at the chain. So I would say it's easier. This one is not a chain. So I have to solve two inequalities completely separately of each other. Separated. The first one says in between negative 3 and 3. The other one says to the right of 1 or to the left of negative 1. So how do I solve the first one? Very good. So negative 6 less than or equal to x plus 1 less than or equal to 6. Very good. Negative 7 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 5. And I'm done. Definitely nothing else needs to be done here. Good. How do I solve the second type? Yes, that's the starting point. Very good. So then I have 2x minus 1 greater than or equal to 4, or 2x greater than or equal to 5, or x greater than or equal to 5 halves. That's one portion. I will repeat for this one exactly what you just suggested, less than or equal to negative 4. So 2x is less than or equal to negative 3, therefore x is less than or equal to negative 3 halves. So these are together the solutions, but how do I present the interval solution? X in. The interval solution for the whole thing. Say it again. Excellent. Union? Excellent. Well done. You mean the imaginary numbers, complex numbers? Yes, any problem. So that's from chapter 10? Okay. So we want to multiply, okay. What about this? Something like this? Okay, that's one. You're interested in rationalizing also, or? Okay, very good. So that's one problem. Let's look at a rationalizing. To the square root of x minus 1 over 4 to the square root of x minus 3. We want to rationalize the denominator. Do we have an answer for the first one? Okay, can anyone? Yes, y. So the first term squared, y minus
3x squared over 1.
times 2 2 times the first times the second, 6x the square of y, plus
Plus
9x squared. How do we know that? Okay. Because a minus b, which is also in chapter 6, is a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. We're working on this one to rationalize the denominator. Is this okay? Is this okay? I couldn't hear you. Can you say it again? Okay, the first term squared is this, minus 2 times 3x is 6x times the square root of y, plus this second term squared, which is 9x squared. Okay, we are rationalizing the denominator of this fraction. What do I have to do?
You can eliminate 4 and 2.
Okay, so I would like to simplify 2 and say 1, and then 2, and then simplify this and say 1 and 1, and I get a 0 over negative 1.
So, but you have to put the negative. Same right.
What, is this okay? Absolutely not. What did I do? I simplified non-factors. I simplified non-factors. Terribly wrong. I went along with what you suggested. Just to remind you that we can only simplify factors. 2 is not a factor. 4 is, yes, Jen, I'm so sorry. 2 is not a factor. The square root of x is not a factor. Never. Okay, so let's start from scratch. 2 the square root of x minus 1 over 4 the square root of x minus 3. I need to rationalize the denominator with 4 the square root of x plus 3. Exactly, very good. So now, chapter 10, please.
No, but I remember us doing this. That's why I'm like, I'm not forgetting.
Now the denominator is easy because I'm using the formula that we reviewed in chapter 6, a minus b times a plus b. So the denominator will be 16x minus 9. But the numerator is this times this is 8x. This times this is 6 the square root of x. This times this minus 4 the square root of x. And this times this negative 3. Any questions so far? So now the final step is I have to combine these two because they are like radicals. So then I have 8x plus 2 the square root of x minus 3 over 16x minus 9. Very good questions.
Can you give us another example of this one, please?
Sure. I cannot do anything else. I cannot simplify. I cannot factor. There is nothing else I can do. Yes. Final answer, yes. Okay, so this time let's rationalize the numerator. Yes, yes. We normally rationalize the denominator, but sometimes we will be asked to, or we will need to rationalize the numerator. So that's an example here. Let's rationalize the numerator. What will I use to rationalize the numerator? Exactly. Yes, absolutely. Perfect. Very good. So take a moment and tell me, yes, if you're ready, I'll put it in.
Do it really matter which one you use?
Yes, of course. If I'm asked to rationalize the numerator, I have no choice. I have to rationalize the numerator, yes. Indeed. 9x minus 16y. Perfect. What about the denominator?
6x minus 28y.
6x minus 8, the square root of xy, and then plus 21, the square root of xy, and minus 28y. Is that okay? And now the final step, I have to combine these. So the top is 9x minus 16y, and the bottom is 6x plus, is it 13? And minus 28y. This is the final answer. Nothing else can be done here.